The following is a special presentation of Extreme eSpeed TV, your new home for everything iRacing and eSpeed.
People want to have a one-stop shop. They need us for now all these different services, not just the heating and air side.
When things are going wrong, you want the company that's going to be able to get things done as fast as possible for you.
Today we're going to be in over 600 homes. What the customers can count on is we're going to send a competent person to your home with a vehicle that's stocked and prepared. We're going to do what's right.
Right now, we're waiving our $79 service fee with any Coolray, Brightbox, or Mr. Plumber service.
We are excited to have you joining us from Federated Auto Parts I-55 Speedway in the Show Me state of Missouri. It's the latest chapter in the 2023 season. I'm Travis Piercefield, joined as always with Adam Johnson, and we have the Extreme eSpeed TV booth here at this I-55 Speedway, Adam, and it should be another exciting night, but really it's been dominated this season by two names, two former champions, Tater Williams and Dylan Perry.
That's right, Dylan Perry, last year's champion, and of course the 2021 champion of Tater Williams. But I will say, while both of them have 2 wins apiece this season, Austin McGlone is waiting and watching in the weeds with 1 win on the year. McGlone having a great stride right now, and this is coming after a really marathon that was a couple of weeks ago in what we saw with Volusia, and now we've got a lot. We're in the middle of it. We're in the middle of a jam-packed March. It's full, and we'll talk about that more during the notebook section, but quite honestly, it's good to be here. If you were following on the Pro Late Model Dirt Series Facebook page, you saw the haulers rolling in. It is a beautiful day. You know, there's snow in previous races. That just shows you how spring has sprung, and we're excited to get in this beautiful weather tonight.
Beautiful weather. Little brother Andy's done a great job with the camera work here tonight as we have some exciting racing action. And Adam, we move on to this spring thaw presented by FMS Rapid Graphics tonight here at Federated I-55 Speedway. You see, it's a narrow track compared to where we've been so far this season. It'll be interesting to see how that plays into the favor of certain drivers here tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be a test of the skill. You know, you had a lot of these past races with very wide, swinging tracks. Even, you know, you have ones that may have had more of an open embankment on the outside. But this one, there's going to be certain turns and certain straightaways where you're going to have to collapse back in and say, okay, how are we going to put this back together? How are we going to, you know, tighten things back up? And we started the season with really not many cautions. Last couple, we've had enough where it was like, okay, these guys are getting a little bumpy. So a lot to see right now, but a lot to also watch for it in the standings. Now, if we take a look at that right now, we'll pull them up for you later tonight. But you got Dylan Perry, Taylor Williams, Austin McGlone. Those are the heavy hitters, the ones, whether you've tuned in for the 1,000th time of the Coolray Small Dirt Series, or this is your first time tonight, you're going to get to know Dylan Perry, Taylor Williams, and Austin McGlone very quickly. We're going to talk a lot about them, but we're also going to try and talk about these guys making it happen in the mix in the middle of the standings. We're talking to Brett Carlton in 4th, Jacob Laster in 5th. But let's not miss out on the rookies. We have 3 in the top 10. Jesse Isidore, Bobby Rafferty, and Caleb Ramsey round out the top 10 when it comes to rookies in the top 10. So a lot of exciting things with those 107 service and tire rookies. And Travis, I know we come to expect them to dominate. When you're a rookie in this league, all it means is it's your first year because your experience is already there, and we're seeing it play out now.
Well, as you mentioned, Austin McGlone, he's still listed as a rookie this year. He had tons of experience last year, and it paid off last week as he came away with the victory. But it'll be interesting to see who can shine. There has been those rookies that have had their moments thus far this year. But looking here at the hot lap times, it's Dylan Perry, Austin McGlone, and then you got Jacob Lassiter, 3rd fastest, Taylor Williams, 4th, Brett Carlton, 5th. Those are 5 names that have been towards the top of the charts all season long.
Yeah, all season long, but what I'm curious to see about this track, and you mentioned the narrowness to it, it's going to be very slick. I've got that feeling that we're going to have a very slick night tonight, and so I'm not sure. I'm going to learn with you as the viewers. Is this going to be the type of situation where in Houston Guttering Time Trials, do you want to go first? Do you want to go towards the end? At the end of the day, you don't have a choice, and you're going to have to prove it in these heat races, Last Chance Showdown, and of course the feature. But this track is going to change drastically, and if it gets too slick and you get a little narrow, that's usually a recipe for cautions.
So they are in the driver's meeting with director Cody Early as we speak. We're about 4 minutes from our Houston Guttering Time Trials. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have cars on the track when it matters as Houston Guttering Time Trials comes next here from Federated Auto Parts. You're watching Extreme eSpeed TV.
Dyer Trucking in Mohawk, Tennessee is family owned and operated, and their main goal is to always please their customers and deliver their freight in a timely manner. If you need it hauled and you're in East Tennessee, the number you need is 423-393-4229. That's 423-393-4229. Dyer Trucking's also on Facebook. Pick up the phone and give Brad and his family a call today. Dyer Trucking. If you need it, they can get it. Find them on Facebook. .07 Tire and Service Center is your one-stop shop for all your car care needs, and they're now a Cooper Tire dealer. American tires for the American worker. Buy a set of Cooper tires and get free tire rotation and repairs for the life of the tire. They have a 12,000-mile or 12-month warranty on most repairs. Check out 107 Tire and Service Center. They're located at 6256 Irwin Highway, Chuckey, or call them at 423-620-4970. For all your car care needs, 107 Tire and Service Center. Family owned and operated. And their number one goal is your satisfaction. Find 107 Tire and Service Center on Facebook or call them today at 423-620-4970.
And welcome back to Federated Auto Parts I-55 Speedway here in Missouri. Adam, they have wrapped up their drivers meeting, getting ready to move on to Houston Guttering time trials. What do you expect here as we move on to this time trial session?
Well, I'm expecting to see some speed. I think this is a track that the guys have always looked forward to. And I feel like we say that each and every week, and we do, but there's a reason, race director Cody Early and promoter puts this on the series schedule, because he knows the drivers are going to react differently. He doesn't want to put every track back to back to back that's exactly the same. So I expect to see a lot of the similar names. I think if this was a 3-night event, I think each time we maybe see a different top 3, a different top 5. But I expect to see the heavy hitters. You talk about some of these other veterans that kind of play the role. I think Brett Carlton. These veterans they're stingy, man. And I think a guy like Brett Carlton, who isn't going to be talked about probably as much until he gets that win. He's having a great start to the year. He's the only one in the top 5, along with last year, actually, without a win. But I think one of them get that win sometime this season. So I'm going to look at Carlton. I want to see how he's bouncing back. We got a chance to talk about him more times than not during that marathon of Volusia. But at this point, I want to bring him back into the conversation. And I'm hoping it's at the beginning of tonight with Houston Guttering time trials. Of course, some other names to look at: Aiden Young, Jacob Laster in that top 10 still. Steven Speeds. I'm talking about these veterans right now of the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series. I think they're trying to make their names known. And really what you're seeing year over year is each of these guys getting so much better. So I'm looking at the veterans and, of course, the rookies we're all learning about this year.
So as we prepare for Houston Guttering time trials, we will see who gets out on that track first to make their laps. As always, thanks for tuning in tonight. It should be another exciting night of Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series action as we prepare to move on to our Houston Guttering time trial session.
That's right, and if you're new with us on Extreme eSpeed TV or just need the refresher, it typically goes on as we'll get your hot laps. We'll then, of course, follow that up with Houston Guttering time trials, which should be coming up here in any moment. And then we will have the carrier heat races, followed by the Combs Cuts Last Chance Showdown, where everyone indeed still does make the race, and that'll be followed by our main event at I-55.
So as we wait for Houston Guttering time trials, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have racing action from I-55. back to Federated Auto Parts I-55 Speedway here in Missouri. We have Houston Guttering time trials under the way, Adam, and it looks like that number 12 of Jordan Van Westen wraps up his timed laps.
That's right, Van Westen. Give him a quick shout out here out of Del Rapids, South Dakota, with Pizza Ranch, Norby's Bar and Grill, Rapid Fitness, and his M&B Customs chassis. And it looks like Van Westen puts down a 12.74. We're jumping in. Aiden Young, good start for one of our veterans with a 12.34.
As you see Colin Voiles out there, he's fourth fastest, a 12.54 on his lap. It looks like it's going to be that 9 of Jesse Isidore is going to be next, Adam.
That's right, Jesse Isidore, one of the rookies this season with us. Out of Methport, Pennsylvania, with Ancient World Gaming, FGR Excel, Next Level Gaming, Bucked Up, Premier Racing Setups, and FGR Excel with Barry Wright race cars and Dram racing engines.
Also out on the tracks, that 55, it's the Gambler Motorsports machine of Steven Spees from Lee Summit, Missouri. A home race for him tonight, Midwest Turbo and Performance. As he makes his lap, he'll jump to the top of the charts with a 12.3, fastest so far in Houston Guttering time trials.
Good for Steven Spees, sitting 9th in the point standing right now. Any momentum, any way to get him close to that top 5. Add him with the 5s on his car. It'd be a great start to the season, which is still very early.
So 2 more down. We've got 7 cars complete. Spees, Aiden Young, Bowman, Chapman, and Isidore will be your top 5 as of right now. And Adam, it looks like it's our champion from last year, Dylan Perry, out on the track.
That's right, Dylan Perry. He needs no introduction, but we'll still give him one out of Ringgold, Georgia, with the Coolray Rapid Race Graphics, Stealth Racing Carburetors, Harrison Automotive, Newt's Lawn Care, and much more with this Phantom Race engine and that Longhorn chassis. Coming up on the mid-30s when it comes to starts. It looks like you've got Andy Piercefield out there.
Andy Piercefield from Ball Ground, Georgia, Coolray, Extreme eSpeed TV, Masterbuilt, Cornet Engines. Andy Piercefield in that 75, his first lap, a 12.6, good enough for 8th fastest. See if he can improve here on his second time lap. And he'll stay there. Oh, 8th with a 12.55, so he does improve. It's Dylan Perry jumping to the top of the charts, though.
That's what you like to see, and that's kind of what we talked about. These top 3 heavy hitters, they're going to be making a difference early, and it looks like they already are, as we see Austin McGlowan heading out there.
Austin McGlowan from Hillsborough, Kentucky, Coolray Heating, Cooling, KMJ Graphics, Chipbanger Racing, Project X Coatings, Goat Farm Posse. That's a Longhorn chassis, as he is our winner from last week, looking to go back-to-back, pick up his second win of the season. Also out on the track, it looks like it says 71 of John Hine. John Hine is also a Missouri native, so another home race for another one of our drivers here in the Coolray Pro Lame Outdoor Series.
Yeah, good to see Hine out there. Coolray, the Cruise Shop, Gambler Motorsports on his car, with Rayburn Race Cars chassis and Hatfield Power. But McGlowan, not his best run on that first time round, hit the wall in 9th fastest speed of a 12.55. That's very unusual and not like him.
So coming up next is going to be that 221 of Brett Carlton. He was someone that had a great Winter Nationals down at Volusia Speedway. Car was a little off last week. His hot lap times were fast earlier tonight, so we'll see how it shakes out for him. As he is from Royal Palm Beach, Florida, LTX Home Builders, Water Experts, LC Property Investments. That is a Rocket XR1 chassis. Also on the track, you've got Joshua Johnson, Adam.
That's right, Joshua Johnson. Great last name out of Waynesville, Georgia, with Vortex Wraps, BWR Bottom Feeder, Mafia Racing, White Knuckle Setup Shop, and Carry Speed Works with that Kryptonite race car and Durham race engine. In the mid-20s when it comes to starts here in the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series, so always fun to watch his progress.
So Brett Carlton will end up 4th fastest at 12:34. Joshua Johnson 11th fastest at 12:58.
As we are already 13 complete here at I-55 Speedway. Perry up top with Speeds behind him, and Carlton, with my pick to be fastest, sitting 4th. We'll see if anyone bumps him down or if he can maybe hold on to a top 5.
As out on the track now, it's that 51 machine of Jacob Lassiter. He's from Dresden, Tennessee. Hot Lap, Heroes Racing, 789 Designs. Max Green, the Sud Shop. That's a Rayburn race car. He has 1 career victory here in the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series. His first time, 13th fastest at 12:62.
And also out there right now, we've got the 22 of Brandon Bender out of Minford, Ohio. B&B Custom Baits, Limitless Custom Creations, Chip Bangers Racing, and Coolray on the car with another one of the Longhorn chassis out there with Phantom race engines inside. So he eclipsed 50 starts earlier this season, so familiar face as well.
Jacob Lassiter will be 5th fastest at 12:39. Brandon Bender ends up 9th fastest at 12:48. Out on the tracks, that 182 machine, it is Tater Williams. He has a couple wins this year already in 2023. He's also our 2021 Series champion from Clifty, Kentucky. Coolray, Chip Banger Racing, Comb Cuts, B&B Custom Baits, DPR, Bangin' Sets, Bluegrass Motorsports on that Longhorn chassis.
Also out there, Cody Early, the man himself out of Greenville, Tennessee, with Bass Pro Shops, Johnson City Toyota Warrior race cars. Just so happens to be his chassis as well. And Vortex Wraps with Oakley sunglasses, keeping that sun out of his eyes in that ECR race engine. Also in the mid-50s when it comes to starts in this series. So good to see Tater Williams popping up there. And just like the standings, it's Perry and Williams, your top 2 in Houston guttering time trials and qualifying, inching ever so closer to wrapping up. We'll see if anyone can top those 2.
So we have 3 remaining, including the 77 of Bobby Rafferty. He's a rookie this year in the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series. From Middletown, New York, Exiled Esports, Ancient World Gaming, Next Level Racing, Sour Dog, Premium Racing Setups. That's a Bloomquist chassis, as he has had some great runs here early in his Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series career. There's also another rookie out there on the track in that 13.
That's right, the 13 of Caleb Ramsey out of Lafayette, Tennessee, with Mud Duck Racing, as well as the showroom at Westwoods. Just Blaze Designs, among many partners who support this guy in the Warrior race car chassis, with Stephen Fields Racing engines inside.
So Caleb Ramsey ends up 18th fastest at 16.62. Bobby Rafferty will end up 10th fastest at 12:48. As both of them will pull in, and that will move us on to our final driver to hit the Houston Guttering Time Trial track. That's going to be the number 25 of Cody Terry.
That's right, and when Cody Terry heads out there out of Gastonia, North Carolina, he will be representing Groundbound Calls, Spencer Boyd LLC, Combs Cuts, with that Longhorn chassis and Clement Racing engines. In the 40s when it comes to starts in this series, so another familiar face looking to end on a high note in Houston Guttering Time Trials. We'll see what he puts down. Once again, Perry, Williams, Spees, Young, and Carlton, your top 5. No rookies in the top 5, but in the top 10, we've got 3 overall with Bowman, Isidore, and Rafferty. Terry puts down the 20th fastest time right now with a 12.88. Oh, hits the wall, not going to improve likely on this second time by.
It was a hard hit in turns 1 and 2 on that second lap, so he will end up 20th fastest. And with that, Adam, Houston Guttering Time Trials comes to an end. It's going to be Dylan Perry, your quick time here from Federated Auto Parts at I-55 Speedway. And just like that, Adam, we move on to our carrier heat races we'll move on to our first carrier heat race of the night as Houston Guttering Time Trials wraps up. And we'll get that grid here in a second as the scorers finalize those timed laps and they get those fields set.
Yeah, and I think what we talked about at the opening of the broadcast, we're already seeing a pretty slick track on a couple of times, both in the heats as we get this carry heat race to go. And as we enter carrier heat race number 1, we'll get you the starting grid, which includes Dylan Perry up top, side by side with Brett Carlton. Behind them, Jesse Isidore and Andy Piercefield, and Cody Early in 5th. And as I was mentioning, that wall is going to get a little bit more banged up, and we saw some chipping as they clipped the wall. So a lot of you're going to see a lot of chip paint. They continue to clip there.
So we will get ready to go 8 laps. We'll make up our carrier heat races here from I-55 Speedway. As it's going to be Dylan Perry, our 2022 champion, leading us to green.
And he represents a lot of his partners very proudly, and whether it be Coolray, I mean, you could call him a Coolray champion.
Let's not forget that Carlton has had a fast car here early in the season, so he'll be someone to watch, and also be interested to see cars out on the track in a race setting, Adam, how this plays out here. So iRacing pace cars moved on in, and carrier heat race number 1 is green from I-55.
Good start, as we are accustomed to seeing from Dylan Perry Carlton. This will be kind of a good litmus test to see, okay, where's he standing now? Had a hot start to the season, but we'll see if he can not only fend off Isidore behind him, but maybe catch up to Perry. But as much as we talk about good restarts and how much they matter, we are seeing Perry take advantage of that.
Perry has separated from the field as Carlton tries to hold off Isidore. They both are up on that outside line. See Dylan Perry down low, Andy Piercefield back there on 75 down on that inside line too. We'll see how that transpires throughout the night. As you see, that slick is really middle of the track, both ends of the track at the current moment.
Yeah, we'll see if we even see any cautions in these carrier heat races. Sometimes it happens. Not as common with a more spread out and smaller field. So I do expect, as you can just see them all wiggling a little bit, it's going to be an interesting night here at I-55.
It should be a lot of fun. This is the only second time in series history that we visited this bull ring, and the last time we were here had a great finish. As you can see, Dylan Perry right down along that wall as he enters turn number 3. He's currently got 9/10 of a second lead over Brett Carlton, who's separated from Isidore, as these 5 drivers really separated all the way around the track as Dylan Perry takes the white flag.
Yeah, I kind of wish we had the opportunity to chat with Dylan and see what he's feeling out there. And I imagine what he's feeling on the track is going to be different than what these guys in the next heat race feel.
So carrier heat race number 1 goes to the P7. That's Dylan Perry, our former champion from last year, as he will start on the pole in our feature event tonight. And with that, we move on to carrier heat race number 2.
That's right, and kicking things off in carrier heat race number 2, it'll be Tater Williams, the champion the previous year, with Jacob Lassiter next to him. Behind them, a couple of rookies, Bobby Rafferty and Austin McGlone, and really another rookie back there in 5th with Caleb Ramsey.
So getting ready to go green here in carrier heat race number 2. We'll have 4 carrier heat races tonight here from I-55 as we have 20 drivers. As Tater Williams, Jacob Lassiter will lead us to green here, a solid and formidable front row as is that second row. They got spread out quick in carrier heat race number 1, Adam, so it'll be interesting to see what transpires here as the green flag waves. Carrier heat race number 2 is underway.
And they are all over the track right now. Tater Williams, much like Dylan Perry, getting a great restart. A little bit of banging right there. It looks like McGlone might get by Lassiter as Lassiter brushed the wall. We'll see if it matters, but McGlone going down low right now. Swings back up high, and Lassiter's going to take it right back from him.
Lassiter dug deep there as he'll slide up in front of Austin McGlone. McGlone will cross him back over down the backstretch as it's Bobby Rafferty watching on from that 4th spot as Lassiter and McGlone continue to trade that 2nd spot back and forth as Tater Williams, the leader, gets up into that outside wall.
Yeah, Tater's just fine with them doing their thing back there. It is beautiful racing right now. They're giving each other a lot of respect, which we can appreciate, but I'll tell you what, Tater Williams, he's taking advantage of it right now as we approach 3 to go.
Tater Williams really getting into that wall in 1 and 2. He pulled Austin McGlone up along with him that last time, as it's still Tater Williams by about 0.8 of a second. You can see Austin McGlone back there in second as he tries to hold off Lassiter.
That's right. The battle seems to have cooled down a little bit as McGlone finally got by Lassiter. We'll see if Rafferty and Ramsey maybe can mix it up a little bit, or if Rafferty might even catch up to Lassiter as well.
Tater Williams moves to the inside through 3 and 4 as he comes around for the white flag lap. He still leads by almost 0.7 of a second. Carrier heat race number 2 will go to the 182 of Tater Williams. Austin McGlone 2nd, Bobby Rafferty 3rd, Lassiter 4th, and Ramsey in 5th.
As we enter carrier heat race number 3, it'll be led by Steven Spees and Tyler Bowman. Behind them, Brandon Bender and Joshua Johnson, with Jordan Van Westen rounding out the rear.
So the Gambler Motorsports 55 machine will lead us to green here in carrier heat race number 3.
Going back to that last heat race in number 2, from what we saw with Lassiter, he was really giving McGlone a hard time, but in the end of it, I believe it was Rafferty that passed him for 3rd, so not the best way to end it there if you're Lassiter, but nonetheless, you'll have a chance either in the last chance showdown or, of course, the main event. As we get ready to go green now, Pace Truck's lights are off. Should be going green in just a moment as he pulls off.
As Spees and Bowman will take us to green in carrier heat race number 3. Green flag waves, we're back to racing action here at I-55. Bowman to the outside, Spees to the inside. It's Bender in 3rd watching on.
Oh, a good run right there from Bowman, but Speed's still holding the edges. He holds inside. We'll see if there's a little bit of a crossover. No crossover yet, but Bender's kind of waiting in the weeds.
Speed still side by side as Bowman to the outside. Bender now moves up to that outside, trying to move up through. As Bowman and Speed continue to trade that lead back and forth, side by side, coming to 5 laps to go.
Speed's holding stronger. Did not get the start, really, as you see Bowman kind of touch the wall, but not kind of the start we saw from guys like Dylan Perry and Tater Williams. So it's still up for grabs as we approach 4 laps to go.
Spees continues to lead with that inside line. He's known to go down there to the bottom, and that's where he's most comfortable, including here tonight at I-55. 3 laps to go. He'll slide up in front of Bowman to kind of slow down that momentum as Bowman will cross it over, and now he's to the inside of Spees.
Nose to nose, and my goodness, they're racing clean, but you can tell both of them want this right now. Neither of them giving an inch, as it looks like Spees leads by an inch.
Spees will pull out to the lead as Bowman now moves to the outside. White flag waves. Spees has control through 1 and 2. He'll head down the backstretch for the final time through 3 and 4 And carrier heat race number 3 goes to the 55, Stephen Spieth. Bowman second, Bender third, Johnson fourth, and Van Westen in fifth.
All right, carrier heat race number 4 will be led by Aiden Young, as the night is still young, with Zach Chapman beside him. Behind them, Colin Boyles and John Hine, with Cody Terry behind them.
So our 4th and final carrier heat race of the night. Got Gambler Motorsports teammates Aiden Young and Zach Chapman up front. Got another Gambler Motorsports car back there in the 71 of John Hine. As we've got 8 more laps, our final carrier heat race of the night, and our field will be set, minus that last chance showdown. But the iRacing Pace truck's in, we're ready to go green, and we're back to racing at I-55. Aiden Young to the inside, Zach Chapman to the out.
Once again, carrier heat race number 3 and 4. Not as big a jump by the leader as we saw from Perry and Williams, but I will say, Aiden, your respectable lead with Zach Chapman barreling down the straightaway, trying to catch up to him.
Chapman's to the outside. You've got Colin Boyles to the inside. As now John Hine tries to work on him. That's a battle for third. Hine will get into that outside wall. That'll slow down his momentum. But now he's back on the attack, trying to get past that Boyles machine. As he's back into the wall, that'll slow him down even more. As now Colin Boyles moves into second.
Yeah, Colin Boyles, part of the Boyles duo in this league, showing out right now without Brian in the field. But Young still a healthy lead, as it's mostly a Boyles-Chapman battle.
So the 69 of Aiden Young still out front. 3 laps to go around this bull ring at I-55. As the 69 Coolray machine makes his way around, coming to 2 laps to go.
That's right. Young, Boyles, Chapman, Hine, and Terry, all veterans of the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series. So a little bit of this is something you might have seen last year, this type of group. So good to get the band back together as the white flag waves.
So Aiden Young will lead on the final lap of our final carrier heat race of the night. And heat race number 4 is Aiden Young's here at I-55. Colin Boyles second, Chapman third, John Hine fourth, and Cody Terry in fifth. And with that, Adam, we'll move on to our last chance showdown.
That's right, the Last Chance Showdown, presented by Combs Cuts, will feature just 4 drivers. It'll be Cody Early, Caleb Ramsey, Jordan Van Westen, and Cody Terry.
So our Combs Cuts Last Chance Showdown, 12 laps around this track. As we get ready to go, it looks like Cody Terry is yet to leave the pit area. And there he is, out there on the front stretch.
Yep, just got him in. This will be an interesting group. This is not necessarily the group that we always get a chance to focus on, so I'm actually really excited for this one. 12 laps will be the number.
Dirty dozen. 12 laps around this short track in Missouri. Cody Early, the race director out front. That Bass Pro Shop machine will lead us to green. So Early and Ramsey out front here, 4 cars. This is the final 4 spots in that feature event on the line. iRacing Pace Trucks in. Cody Early leads us to that green flag, and we're back to racing here at I-55.
Oh, look at that. You got high and low right now. And you expect, you see a full field, you know, it's going to get pretty plugged up there in some of these turns.
As Cody Early breaks away here early, as Ramsey's in second, Cody Terry up to that 3rd spot. Similar to Carrier Heat Race number 1, they've got spread out around this track pretty quickly. And Adam, well, that's one thing we've seen with this series all season long. Not a ton of cautions. Once they go green, they're able to get some long green flag runs. And so far here tonight, that's been the case, even on this small enclosed bull ring.
Yeah, and when you have a track like this where the lap times are pretty quick, if you can get a green flag run, I mean, you're noticing it right now. We're already 4 laps completely. It ticks away quite quickly. So I'm very curious to see if we can get a green flag run. It looks like one of the drivers back there hits the wall. So at the moment, it's Early, Ramsey, and Terry. Still all on the lead lap, but it could change soon if some of these drivers continue to hit that back walls. They are really spread out now.
So Early continues to lead Ramsey out front. Early looking to pick up a last chance showdown victory as Ramsey's able to close up the gap now under a half a second as they're halfway, 5 more laps around this I-55 Speedway. And ooh, look at that run by Ramsey. He's closed that gap quick, Adam.
Yeah, Ramsey seems to have found something in the rookie, putting pressure on the final veteran in front of him.
So 4 laps to go. Cody Early now has a challenge for the lead as Caleb Ramsey has closed up that gap. Only 3 more circuits around this track to set the final 4 spots in our main event.
That's right, and it looks like Cody's doing everything he can right now, whether it's trying to block, and now he's taking a low line. This could be right down to the wire the way that Ramsey's kind of setting it up as he takes that high line. Good job not hitting the top of the wall, but he's going to have to make a move here pretty quickly as the lap time. So, I mean, we're necessarily about 20 seconds away from this being done.
Caleb will make a move to the inside on Cody Early through 1 and 2. They'll be alongside each other down the backstretch. Final 2 corners. It's going to be close at the line, but it's going to be Cody Early over Caleb Ramsey. That will set our field for tonight's main event as it's Jordan Van West in 3rd, Cody Terry in 4th. As Cody Early is your Combs Cuts Last Chance Showdown winner. And with that, Adam, we are going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we've got your pre-race festivities and then our starting lineup for tonight's Spring Thaw 55 from Federated Auto Parts at I-55 Speedway.
People want to have a one-stop shop. They need us for now all these different services, not just the heating and air side.
When things are going wrong, you want the company that's going to be able to get things done as fast as possible for you.
Today, we're going to be in over 600 homes. What the customers can count on is we're going to send a competent person to your home with a vehicle that's stocked and prepared. We're going to do what's right.
Right now, we're waiving our $79 service fee with any Coolray, Brightbox, or Mr. Plumber service.
Dyer Trucking in Mohawk, Tennessee is family owned and operated, and their main goal is to always please their customers and deliver their freight in a timely manner. If you need it hauled and you're in East Tennessee, the number you need is 423-393-4229. That's 423-393-4229. Dyer Trucking's also on Facebook. Pick up the phone and give Brad and his family a call today. Dyer Trucking. If you need it, they can get it. Find them on Facebook.
Welcome back to Federated Auto Parts Speedway at I-55. It is the Spring Thaw 55 here for the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series. Tonight's event presented by FMS Rapid Graphics. Before we move on to our racing action, it's time to stand and remove your caps for tonight's national anthem. And with that, we conclude our pre-race festivities. Drivers are about ready to climb into their cars and head out on the track in front of this great crowd. We're going to take one more quick commercial break. When we come back, we've got your Spring Thaw 55.
Hello, my name is Benny Boudreau and I created the Spring Rhythm app. The Spring Rhythm app allows someone who doesn't have access to a Spring Smasher to be able to set their car up to their manufacturer's suggested install loads and center to centers, as well as be able to figure out their dynamic loads, as well as make adjustments to them to make their handling of their car better. For someone who does have a Spring Smasher, Spring Rhythm will greatly reduce the amount of time to figure out those new stack setups by allowing for instantaneous spring rate changes as well as load changes. Spring Rhythm will even make sure that your setup doesn't coil bind at the loads that you're trying to hit. For only $4.99 a month, you too can have access to the same information that top late model teams across the country are using to gain a competitive advantage.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
It rose from humble beginnings in the Valley of the Sun. A sprint car racer saw the need for racing shirts. And now, the vision of Carl Korbacher has resulted in Arizona Sport Shirts helping racers across America spread their message. For the best custom designed shirts, hoodies, caps, koozies, and much more, go to ArizonaSportShirts.com. Be part of history. Arizona Sport Shirts, the original racing shirt.
People want to have a one-stop shop. They need us for now all these different services, not just the heating and air side.
When things are going wrong, you want the company that's going to be able to get things done as fast as possible for you.
Today we're going to be in over 600 homes. What the customers can count on is we're going to send a competent person to your home with a vehicle that's stocked and prepared. We're going to do what's right.
Right now, we're waiving our $79 service fee with any Coolray, Brightbox, or Mr. Plumber service.
And welcome back to I-55 Speedway as we get set here in just a moment to feature our main event presentation as you get a good look at the flagman himself. Flagman Frankie, I believe it is tonight, in a sold-out crowd in Missouri. A couple of drivers having a homecoming as we see the pace truck get set out there. We'll get you the starting lineup here in just a moment on Extreme eSpeed TV. Appreciate you joining us for, I believe, the 5th or 6th race of the season now. 6th, if my math is right. You can still chime in, though, on the Extreme eSpeed TV YouTube page and let us know who you think will win tonight. As we get a look here at your starting lineup, it'll be the past two series champions, Dylan Perry and Tater Williams, 1-2. Behind them, Steven Spees and Aiden Young, with Brett Carlton and Austin McGlone behind them. Tyler Bowman, the rookie, with Colin Voiles. Another rookie, Jesse Isidore, side-by-side with fellow rookie Bobby Rafferty. Behind them, Brandon Bender and Zach Chapman, 11-12. In that 13th spot, it'll be Andy Piercefield side-by-side with Jacob Laster. Behind them, Joshua Johnson and John Hine, with Cody Early, Caleb Ramsey, Jordan Van Westen, and Cody Terry, rounding out a very full field of 20 drivers tonight. The Spring Thaw 55 will feature 55 laps.
And Dylan Perry, Tater Williams will lead us to green as the green flag waves here at I-55. Dylan Perry to that inside, Spees to that inside as well. That's where they race to victory in their carrier heat races, as early a crash will bring out our first caution of the night. Looks like Cody Early involved in this one. Let's see what happens up ahead of him possibly. Ooh, as Joshua Johnson and Andy Piercefield get together. Caleb Ramsey and Cody Early get collected in that one. And just like that, Adam, our first caution of the night.
Yeah, and just in that short little clip, you see how chippy it's getting out there right now. And this could be, as the track continues to get slicker, if slicker is a word, it's definitely what's going on right now, is we may see some more cautions. I knew we'd see several. Wasn't sure we'd get one that quickly, but this could be a sign of things to come tonight.
It's going to be interesting. You can see that slick throughout the corners, almost from the inside line all the way up to the wall. So there is some cushion up there to the outside. See if that comes to benefit, or if it's hooking those tires down to the inside. As the green flag is back out, and we're back to racing here for the Spring Thaw 55 here in Missouri.
Once again, good restart there for Dylan Perry. Tater Williams taking that high line, which he tends to like. Is, man, they are nose to nose right at the line. If that was the finish, I don't know how we would have called it.
So Tater Williams takes the lead, and another caution flag waves. We'll take a look and see here. Looks like a big group caught up in this one. Joshua Johnson again, so this will be his second. Oh, and it looks like the 25 comes down on Josh Johnson. Andy Piercefield collected hard as well.
So yeah, it's getting messy there in the back of the pack, quite honestly, and whether it's veterans or rookies, no one is safe when you get a car sideways and you're in a tight track.
Well, it looked like the 25 of Terry got sideways, and the Josh Johnson machine just clipped him.
Well, like I said, things are getting chippy out there, and it's going to be hard to find kind of a hole to get through.
You might just have to kind of move around, find what you can find, and go with it.
Well, and I'm pointing to you here on the screen, and you're going to notice it gets plugged up.
The gaps plug up quickly, which is what we've seen with our first couple cautions here tonight. You go in there, you think there's a hole, and you dive in there, Adam, and it closes up quicker than you can get there.
The one differentiator with races like this, where you're going to have probably more cautions than normal, is you get a few more breaks, kind of get to white knuckle. I know, we've been kind of on the in-car camera, whether it be like Andy Piercefield, and you see kind of when the fists tighten.
As we ride along with Steven Spees, see his hands over there on the wheel as we get ready to go back to green.
A light grip right now. It's not pedal to the metal, white knuckle driving just yet, but if you get maybe 10, 15 laps of uninterrupted green flag racing, as we see back here as they go green, we might get some white knuckle driving here in a moment.
So Aiden Young there in the middle. Austin McGlone will look to the inside. That's a battle for fourth as he's on the inside of Steven Spees. Tater Williams continues to lead out front, and this battle of Williams and Perry looks to continue tonight here at I-55 as we've now got a lap in of green flag racing. See if we can keep it going and get a long green flag run here. As it's Tater Williams out front, they're still 3 wide for third.
And I'll tell you what, no matter how many cautions there are, and there will be more, you're going to really need to capitalize on these restarts, because it's basically going to come down to the last 2 cautions, which means the last 2 restarts. You're going to need to have a great restart. Ooh, as they get jumbled up, no one making a caution yet, but man, they sure are 3 wide into already narrow track.
Spees got into the wall coming off of turn number 2. That stacked him up behind him as they're still racing 3 wide. Bowman Bender and Aiden Young there. That is a battle for 8th as they continue to battle. Bobby Rafferty will take advantage of it as he moves up into 7th. Looks like Tyler Bowman's going to be the odd man out, and he is going to bring out our latest caution. You can see he was 3 wide with Aiden Young and Bender through 3 and 4. There's that hole closing up there coming out of 4 as he goes around and around. Another tight hole there coming out of turn number 4.
Well, and a messy one at that.
So we're working a caution here as we've made it 8 laps here in this Spring Thaw 55. It's been Tater Williams out front as of late, as he's got his current rival here in the series of Dylan Perry to his outside. Austin McGlone up into that 3rd spot.
So far, the Spring Thaw has been everything we thought it would be. Very dramatic, and the heavy hitters are definitely out front right now, but you know, Spees and McGlone, those guys, as they head back to the green flag, this could be a moment for those guys in the middle of the pack to take advantage of these cautions and maybe realize you're one restart away from making a big difference in the point standings.
So Dylan Perry will move to the inside of Tater Young through 3 and 4. Austin McGlone will take a peek to the inside, almost makes it 3 wide for the lead. He thinks better of it as he falls back into that 2nd row.
Man, they just look so fast. It might just be the quick lap times, I'm not sure, but the speed and the slickness right now, man, and they're still able to get a lot of dirt up. Man, it's got to be hard to see in front of you in the middle of the pack.
So Dylan Perry watching on as he's got Tater Young up ahead of him. Tater Young got 0.3 of a second lead here early. As you see Tater Williams getting into that wall in 1 and 2. That's a case of what he had in that Carrier Heat race as well.
Absolutely. You know, we're kind of seeing it play out in a longer form of poetry right now in this race, as you're seeing Tater hold on, and the last thing Tater wants to see, but he knows is coming, will be a caution as we see it there, Cody Terry.
So we will take a look as Cody Terry goes around. Running towards the back of the pack, see what exactly happened there. Oh, as Andy Piercefield and Van Westen were in the middle of the track there. It was Cody Terry and Cody Early trying to avoid it. As we get ready to go back to racing action, up front it's still Tater Williams leading Dylan Perry. So Tater Williams will continue to lead.
Man, that was a hard hit. You got to think, and man, that was a hard hit there in the back. You got to think the fewer cautions that happen with these guys in the front of the pack, the more we're going to see separation, because these guys in the front, they're not dealing with damaged cars right now, but you're getting a lot of that in the middle of the pack and all the way back. So you're going to want to try and move your way up and get with the guys in the front. Be a front runner, because it's going to suit you and your car better than what we're seeing right now, because those guys in the back, I'll tell you what, we get to maybe lap 40, 50, they're going to look like they're in some pretty rough shape. As we are just about set to go green here, it looks like the pace truck lights are off.
So Tater Williams, Dylan Perry will continue to lead out front, lead us back to green here in the Spring Thaw 55. We're back to racing action as we work lap number 15 of 55.
Man, just so fast. You see Tater holding that top line. He's done a good job of avoiding contact with the wall, which a lot of the other drivers, especially earlier in the night when they were kind of testing it, a lot of scraping up there. Tater doing a good job of maintaining his lane, and you see the heavy hitters right there. It's McGlone side by side with Dylan Perry. Man, as you see Tater kind of brush the ball there, maybe briefly opening the door for Perry.
We'll see what happens as McGlone now using that inside line, trying to find something that might work. Dylan Perry's moved up to that outside line here, middle of the race. As we're working lap number 18, the front three have started to break away as now Speed starts to enter the picture. Looking back in the pack, though, plenty of great racing throughout, including Caleb Ramsey there. He's looking to the inside of Brett Carlton and Brandon Bender, that's a battle for ninth.
Absolutely. Love getting a chance to watch these rookies work a field and really working in tight quarters tonight. As you see the 22 there, bumping the wall a little bit. Not enough to bring the caution now as he maintains control. But, I mean, you just look at that top. Look at the wall. I mean, just how dirty it is right now. Just a lot of wheel running right there. Look how just tight it is, and it's just speedy. As soon as you kind of brace yourself, you're already coming back into a straightaway, and it's time to quickly make another left turn. So this is a very demanding and taxing track, I'd imagine. I'm really looking forward to talking to some of our drivers about that after the end of the race.
So Brandon Bender will move past Colin Boyles. That's for position of 8th. Closest battle currently on the track is that battle for 8th. As we go back out front, Tater Williams now has Dylan Perry and Austin McGlone to his inside. McGlone trying to make that inside line work as he tries to get past Dylan Perry.
Well, if you're McGlone or, Dylan Perry, you're going to hope that this stays green because they're making up ground. They have good momentum, and what might kill that momentum is a yellow flag. As you see Tater hit the wall a little bit, still somehow holding that lead in front of Dylan.
The leaders are now coming up to the tail end of the field as you've got the Codys up ahead. Cody, Terry, Cody early as they're still to the outside. We'll see if that affects this lead as Dylan Perry moves to the inside. Tater Williams is stuck behind that 3E. Oh, and Cody early goes around with the leaders.
Oh my goodness, I got to see where they score that.
So they came up on Cody early. You can see Tater Williams get behind that 3E. That gap closes, and around goes early. Bobby Rafferty caught up in that one as well. Tough look for him.
And that's the last thing Cody really wants to do is cause caution. This is his series. You see him pull off. Oh, even hit the tire. Having trouble getting off the track. Feel for Cody right now. But not what he wants to do. And really not too damaging. Maybe a little bit of damage on Tater's car, but nonetheless, he's still holding the front row. But, man, Travis, like we talked about, if you do get a green flag run, it's going to be dramatic because lap traffic is going to play a role sooner or later.
Well, and Perry had the lead, so he'll start to that inside, but Tater Williams will start on the outside there, see if that's an advantage for him, or see if Dylan Perry's able to jump up to that outside line in front of Tater Williams. But definitely a great battle up front, great battle throughout the field as we've completed 26 laps now. Inching closer and closer to that halfway mark. And you've still got Tater Williams, Dylan Perry, and Austin McGlone, as Steven Speeds would like to name his, or add his name to that battle as well.
Absolutely. Speeds sitting 9th in the standings right now. Maybe inch a little closer to the top 5 with a good performance here. But I do think that's the lane I think Tater Williams wouldn't mind having up top. He's going to have to play nice, and these guys know how to play with each other. So it's going to be a good battle, especially in this top 3. The heavy hitters playing out just like how the standings are. And behind them, you got the 55 of Speeds trying to inch his way into the conversation. Still early enough in the season where by the time we get to the end, he could be in these conversations.
So getting ready to go back to green. See if a hole opens up here, Adam. Maybe you can stick your nose in there. As we go back to green, Spring Thaw 55 back underway. We're working lap number 28 of 55. As it's Dylan Perry out front, Tater Williams on the attack. Slide job through turns number 4. They'll cross over at the start-finish line. It's still Perry that lap, but Williams is on the charge to the front.
Man, some great racing right now, and a little bit of a slip and slide track right now. We definitely expected this, but it's one thing to expect it, another thing to see it play out.
Slippery when slick as Tater Williams slide up into that turn for a wall. Dylan Perry will take the lead back, and now that opens the door for Austin McGlone and Aiden Young.
Man, Tater Williams, brutal tap. He'd been so good at avoiding the wall, but nonetheless, he's still going to be a factor as he's trying to desperately catch up. He'll get by McGlone, and we'll see if McGlone can take it right back down low.
And don't look now, that 69 machine of Aiden Young has entered the picture. It's now he's all over the back of Austin McGlone. Aiden Young picked up a victory last year as he looks to make a move on the front three. And now behind him, Steven Spieth has been caught by Jacob Lassiter. There's some guys moving up through the field as it looks like Bobby Rafferty's gone around in turn number 4.
Wow. Wow.
As it looked like Carlton and Rafferty got into each other. Ooh, and Colin Boyle's nowhere for him to go.
Payne was calling at that point.
As we will get lined back up. 34 laps complete, Adam. If my math's correct, that means 21 laps to go.
I think you are correct, and this may take a little bit of a moment for them to get restacked and packed. Yep.
So we will get ready to go back to green. Dylan Perry leads us back to green. They're already 3 wide from third on back as Lassiter looks to make a move now. Dylan Perry to the lead, but he's got Tater Williams all over the back of him down the backstretch as the caution comes out.
Weston. That's when we take the green flag. Andy, ooh, tough break there.
So we'll line them up and get them back to racing action again, Adam. 20 laps to go now. It's still Dylan Perry, Tater Williams, Austin McGlone, and Aiden Young. That's your front 4. As we have Joshua Johnson in 20th, he is 3 laps down.
When you got the spring season, you know, you see flowers coming back, you see animals coming back out of hibernation, and you, of course, see a lot of cautions breeding other cautions, and we're seeing that play out right now.
Green flag waves. Dylan Perry leads us back to green. That 3-way battle for third continues on as Austin McGlone will come out the victor here down the backstretch. We have 20 laps to go. And don't look. Oh, and there is another caution flag. This one for Zach Chapman. See what happened to Zach back in the pack. Ooh, Bobby Rafferty and him make contact.
Oh, and that's the kind where if you had the in-car camera to see that jostling, that had to hurt.
So Dylan Perry we'll get them lined back up again as that iRacing pace truck barrels his way through to the lead. So we'll get lined back up. See Jordan Van Westen pulling over to the side, getting his starting spot. Shout out to Clinton and Melvin, our race control tonight, as always, top of their game. Also, shout out to little brother Andy back in the booth.
Yeah, a little known fact, we're in a renovated booth right now, probably the nicest one we've ever been in, more spacious. He was actually working with a local internet provider to get that set up today, so big shout out to him. I know he's been dealing with a lot.
Also came back with a nice tan from Florida.
He tans, I burn. That's just the way life goes.
And speaking of burning, the last 20 laps or so are going to bring some heartburn. As Dylan Perry, Tater Williams lead us back to green, it's now Lassiter up in that fourth position, as he'll follow Tater Williams in the top two, as he'll move up alongside Austin McGlone, and that name that cycles through that fourth spot continues here with 18 laps to go.
Yeah, and at this point, you know, we're seeing an opportunity with Perry, Williams, McGlone, your top three. Young can sneak in there. Lassiter can sneak in there. We are not done with the cautions. And that is not said in any negative connotation. This is adding so much drama with these restarts. Now, I will say, on the flip side, if we do get the green flag run, we're going to come up across lap traffic, and we saw what happened with Tater Williams and Cody Early. Drama ensues. So either way, you better be locked in here on Extreme eSpeed TV as we get a beautiful camera angle there. You can just see how fast they're going on such tight corners.
So Dylan Perry continues to lead. Tater Williams, Austin McGlone battling for second there. Looking through the field, you got Austin McGlone, a rookie there who ran a majority of the race events last year. Then you got to go back to Caleb Ramsey in seventh. He's had a good night. He's up 11 spots from his 18th starting spot. But really, Adam, the rookies besides Caleb and Austin are really struggling here tonight. And it shows the level of difficulty in this series and this track.
It is, and these guys aren't new to racing, but they're new to this league, and each driver around them, it takes a few races to kind of get their ticks, see how they race. So that's part of what you see with cautions is guys trying to navigate the traffic around them. It gets busy this time of night here at I-55 as we approach 11 laps remaining, and we could go green flag. We'll see.
So Dylan Perry now has quite a lead over the pack. It's over 1 second as the caution flag will erase that lead, Adam. Looks like Zach Chapman and Joshua Johnson included in this one. And right there, that gap, that opening, that hole fills up quickly.
And they were just side-by-side, one-on-one. I did not see that coming.
You never do, Adam. You never do.
You look at some of these cars out here right now, and the guys up front, these look like brand new cars. The guys at the front of the pack, but you're looking at some of these guys near the back, and I'm not gonna lie, some of these cars look a little busted. That's all right. That's all. Bumping is racing, right? And you're gonna have some busted cars like this.
Well, we've seen some guys here in this race get busted up early, and now are starting to bounce back up through.
And you got a race like this, and I'm a little surprised that it's 1, 2, 3 are big heavy hitters, but at the same time, I'm not. When you have a chaotic race like this, you're going to see that cream rise to the top.
As Dylan Perry will lead us back to green. We've got 10 laps to go. It looks like a single file restart here. He's got Austin McGlone second, Tater Williams third, Aiden Young fourth, and Jacob Lassiter in fifth. And we're back to racing action, Adam.
That's right, just 10 laps to go in the Spring Thaw 55. Sun is beginning to set. The fireworks about to start, and I'm not talking about the ones in the post-race celebration. We are seeing it play out right now. Dylan Perry, Austin McGlone, Tater Williams. Will this be your podium lineup? We shall see, as you see Aiden Young getting ever so close to Tater Williams, who clearly has some damage.
So Aiden Young moves to the inside with that 69 machine as he looks to the inside of Tater Williams. The preferred line has moved down the track now as it's on that inner third. Austin McGlone gets into the wall into turn number 1. That'll open the door for Tater Williams, who has Aiden Young all over the back of him.
Aiden Young's almost waiting for a guy in front of him to make a mistake, but with some of this talent in front of him, it's going to be pretty rare, especially with just 6 laps to go, to see a mistake in front of him. He may need something miraculous to happen now.
Them side by side in front of him, that opened the door for Lassiter to close up on that 69 machine, as now Austin McGlone will hold on to that second spot this time by, and it's our leader in some lap traffic. That's Cody Early pulling into the pits on the backstretch. Joshua Johnson not that far ahead of the leader, though.
Not at all. And this is going to come right down to the wire. What we talked about, you're seeing it play out. Oh my goodness, well, that is tight right there.
Aiden Young looks to close that gap as he tries to get a podium spot here at I-55. 2 laps to go for Dylan Perry out front. Austin McGlone gets into the wall. That opens the door for Aiden Young to move into that third spot as the white flag waves.
Unbelievable. Aiden Young taking advantage of some wall placement that was just put down by Austin McGlone. He could do it. He could get a podium.
Dylan Perry will come out of turns 3 and 4, and he is a victor again. Another win during this 2023 season. Tater Williams second, Aiden Young third.
Unreal finish. Heartbreak for Austin McGlone. A podium finish in sights. Able to finish exactly how the standings were, but Aiden Young capitalizes in the moment, moves up 1 spot from where he started. And in just a moment, we will talk to the hopefully thrilled driver of the 69 machine as they park it in front of a sold-out crowd on a beautiful night in Missouri. I don't know if we can say this was March Madness for legal reasons, but it was madness that happened to occur in March.
So we will get those top 3 drivers joining us from Victory Lane here shortly. As we'll throw it down, Adam, it looks like you've got our 3rd place finisher, the 69 of Aiden Young.
That's right, and Aiden Young, unreal finish to this race. Please take us through what happened there in really the last 2 laps.
I have no clue. I was just riding the bottom and hoping something would happen, and somehow came away with 3rd.
You know, a lot of the cautions happened mostly in the back of the pack, but your car stayed relatively clean up front. Was that really the safer area of this track, to just kind of be near the front of the pack?
Kind of. I just, once I got on the top, it was hard. I like the bottom better.
Did you feel like, let's say you added maybe 10, 15 more laps to this race, did you feel like you had a fast enough car that could maybe get to 2nd or 1st, or are you pretty content with the 3rd place finish?
I think I could have got up there. It's just, I'm just happy with 3rd place. At this bull ring, it's hard to get even a top 5.
Absolutely. Well, you sure put on a show, and we appreciate you taking the time, as always, to join us. Before we let you go, any partners you want to give shout-outs to?
Yeah, got to give Coolray, as always, a big thank you for being on the car. Obviously, Cody for letting me be in the league. Obviously, Gamble Motorsports and all my teammates. Obviously, Simtrax for coming on board this season. And obviously, you guys for broadcasting.
No problem. Thank you, Aiden. And Best of luck the rest of the season. I hope we get to talk to you soon.
Hopefully.
So that is Aiden Young, your third place finisher tonight. Now we'll move on to our second place finisher, Tater Williams. Tater, great battle all night up front. Walk us through your night and those battles you had with Dylan Perry, Austin McGlone, and more. Tater, got a copy?
And we are joined with our second place finisher, Tater Williams. And, lap traffic played a part and maybe got you a little bit of damage, but nonetheless, you were pretty much a factor from the start to the finish. Talk about just how chaotic of a race this was.
It was chaotic for sure. It was tight. If that lap traffic wouldn't screwed the race up, it was about to get good because I know talking to Perry there a little bit after we pulled into victory lane, he said he had McGlone right on his inside and he was right on my inside. So it was about to get pretty racy, and I wish it would have stayed green to see the outcome.
I know, I hear you on that, but it was still a very entertaining race, especially from our viewers' perspective here on Extreme eSpeed TV. Now, the guys in the back of the pack, we had a handful of cautions today. There was damage to those cars. Yours stayed until that caution, relatively clean. Did you notice a big impact with that caution that you got mixed up in? Did that affect your car a lot, or do you feel like, hey, if we had 15 more laps, you still could have taken home a checkered?
Honestly, I have no idea. I knew it was going to tear the car up being up there on the cushion anyway. It was so tight getting in. If you didn't really get your stuff rotated, you would just be in a four-wheel slide push straight up to the fence. So I don't know. I'm just happy the caution come out right there because Aiden, he was about to get me if I didn't clear him and squeeze that gap between him and McGlone, and get down in 3 and 4. It was really starting to kind of latch up around there instead of being all the way outside around the fence.
Was this kind of a more unique type of race where it looked like it was not only narrow, that's just the way the track is, but it was slick from the start. It was slick from, quite honestly, Houston Guttering time trials. Is this a track that's more unique and you probably won't see many like this, or do you expect more races like this season?
This track's really weird. I like it. I enjoy it. I didn't necessarily like it that much when it first come on to the iRacing scene, but the more I've run it, I've kind of gotten used to it, and it's really helped me in the slick too, because this slick here, it's like glass, and just to be able to momentum around it, and it's helped at a lot of racetracks that I go to.
Awesome. We appreciate that really insightful knowledge you're sharing with us and our viewers. And before we let you go, I want to give you a chance to let our viewers know about some of your partners.
Got to give a huge shout out to Andy at Coolray for all he does for me. He won't ever know how much it means to me. All my guys at CBR, I got to give a huge shout out to Perry and McGlone. They helped me a ton. If it wasn't for those guys, I don't know where I'd be right now. Josh Vinci at KMJ Graphics, he just got this one on the car this week, and was hoping to get a win tonight for it, but happy to come home second to Dylan there. Huge shout out to Combs Cuts, B&B Baits, Bluegrass Motorsports Media, Banging Sets by CBR, just everybody that helps on this thing. And also got to give you guys a shout out for sticking it out and giving us a place to be broadcasted, and Cody for putting on this amazing league.
Absolutely. We appreciate the time, Tater. Looking forward to talking to you again, hopefully very soon, and get some good rest. This was an entertaining race.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
And with that, Travis, it looks like you've got our race winner, the 7 of Dylan Perry.
So another win, Dylan, but that one definitely wasn't easy. Kind of walk us through that battle you had with Austin and Tater there throughout that spring Thaw 55.
It was a fun one, especially whenever I got my two buddies out there racing with me and then it being for the lead. It was definitely fun. Me and Tater got to throw some sliders. I know McGlone was right there close with us. I didn't ever see any of his haymakers, but I was waiting for one, looking forward to it. But it definitely was interesting, especially once we got to lap traffic. But at the end of the day, I had fun racing with those guys just like any other time.
Talk us through how that racetrack changed. It was really the high side there early, but then it looked like you guys moved to the inside, ended up in the middle there, really moving all over that track.
Yeah, before the race, we all kind of knew the top was going to be pretty quick early, and I was just kind of hoping that the middle would start coming back in, and I think it was, I don't even know how many laps into the race, the middle and 3 and 4 started coming in pretty good and felt like it was a little bit quicker. So I stayed down there and was just kind of hoping that I could catch a mistake in 3 and 4, but it was definitely, it moved around a pretty good bit. And I enjoy whenever the track moves around because it keeps everybody guessing, and that's where all the fun comes.
You've been able to pick up a few wins here early in the season, but it definitely feels like there's some drivers out there that are throwing everything they have at you. Do you feel like that throughout the events here kicking off the season, that there's some guys that are throwing their best stuff at you here early?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, just look at the field of cars we have. I mean, those guys are top notch. So to be able to pick up a win and then now a couple, I'm feeling pretty good. But no, I mean, all the guys are fast, so any one of them could win any given night. So I'm glad to have everybody ready and aiming, and I think it's gonna be a fun year.
Well, congratulations, another victory here in the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series for you. And with that, we'll hand it over to you. Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, first off, as always, I gotta thank Andy over at Coolray. He's been a tremendous amount of help, and I don't think I'd be able to do what I do without him. And I just couldn't thank him enough. All the guys over at Rapid Race Graphics, Chip Bangers Racing, all those guys, those are some top-notch guys, and I couldn't, even if you tried to pay me, I wouldn't want to replace any of them. They're like a family to me, and I definitely wouldn't want to show up to the racetrack without them. All the guys over at Nudes Lawn Care, Harrison Automotive, Stealth Racing Carburetors, Bang & Sets by CBR, B&B Custom Baits, Combs Cuts, Goat Farm Policy, Extreme eSpeed TV, you guys, Cody for putting this on, just everybody that makes this happen. I definitely couldn't thank y'all enough, and I'm glad that y'all are here.
Well, congratulations, Dylan. That's another victory here for Dylan Perry in the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series, Adam. And just like that, another night is complete. We'll be back next Wednesday night, so make sure you tune in for that. We will be there at the Thaw Brawl from Lucas Oil Speedway. For Travis Piercefield and for Adam Johnson, Little Andy in the back, it has been another great night here on Extreme eSpeed TV. We appreciate you tuning in and look forward to seeing you again. You've been watching the Coolray Pro Late Model Dirt Series on Extreme eSpeed TV. We'll see you at a racetrack soon.
This copyrighted broadcast of Extreme eSpeed TV Network is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without express written consent of the Extreme eSpeed TV Network is strictly prohibited. We hope you've enjoyed this broadcast.